There comes a day of reckoning.
It's not affecting the film industry.
I think you are not seeing the future.
I don't see any change happening.
Don't you see an encroaching darkness?
The world is ending. Oh no.
And what we're doing is we are talking about our country becoming a service society, and if that is going to lead anywhere in the future. Because we came from an agrarian to a manufacturing, now we're a service society. Obviously, we disagree. I think a service society is not any way to run a country. You think it's okay as long as we have the passion and we keep going out and doing it. But that's why I'm a farmer. That's why today I have food, because I'm afraid someday it'll all come crashing down. You can call it Chicken Little, but I think a $17 trillion debt is not just saying the sky is falling, it's watching it falling.
It's nothing that we haven't heard every decade since the beginning of time, that the world is ending. I genuinely believe if this crisis comes about, we can go and grow food. There's a farm next door to our own college. We have these abilities, but as of now, our greatest, most valuable export is film, is information, is what we do here. Training people how to do it, as well as the films that they make. There is a vast audience for that across the world. We cannot make iPhones cheaper in the United States than they can in China. We can make better film, we can make film cheaper, we can make stories that everybody on this planet wants to watch.
I know that, I agree with that, that's all good, but at the same time I think you are not seeing the future. I think that you're ignoring the signs that are out there. And I think any student that goes out to LA and ignores some of the realities that face them, and let's not say...
Los Angeles is based on ignoring reality.
Okay, I agree. That's well said. I agree with that. But at the same time, there comes a day of reckoning. And you can't just keep adding to the debt. You can't keep sending all of the manufacturing overseas. You can't keep thinking that we're going to save ourselves by being the court jester of the world. We cannot survive as a country that way. I don't think there's any person out there that would be an expert in the economy who would literally say that we can survive as a service society. Because
We've been
I think
doing
that's
it
one step away from a servant society.
We're getting close to 100 years of having done it, and I don't see any change happening.
Okay,
if anything, we're more popular now than we were.
Okay, and I want to make this one of my last points. Don't you see an encroaching darkness based on the fact that healthcare is just going totally out of control?
No, not at all.
Okay, you know I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. In that 2-week period, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And all I was doing was in a room. I had doctors visiting me. I had no operation, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. That alone cleared my sinuses over and over again when I realized that if I did not have a health care plan that we have, that I would be in a heck of a lot of trouble. How can a health care insurance company survive what's going on even in the healthcare industry? Forget the $17 trillion of debt.
It's all numbers on paper. You did not get $100,000 in care. They put that number on there.
For it?
If you went to another country, it'd be $20,000. If you went to another country, it'd be $500. It's a shell game of shifting numbers around. The same with our economy, same with our debt, same with all of this. It's a shell game. It's a shell game.
Dangerous.
But what we do is not. Our students have a skill. They negotiate the price for that skill to work on it.
I agree.
And it works fantastic.
I agree, but we need more engineers. We need more people going out into the manufacturing sector. We need to create more manufacturing jobs. I'm sorry, I believe that's what we need. You look at Detroit.
We need more filmmakers. We need more filmmakers. We need more storytellers, because that's what we're good at. And if we stay good at that, that is our export. We can always trade our stories for whatever we need.
I was reading, when we were writing this book, I read different opinions, and one of the fields that one of the experts came out and said, and this was one of the major stories in Yahoo, they literally said that in our industry, there's too many students who are going out to work in the entertainment industry, that there's not enough jobs to support it. Now, I disagree with that. I think it depends where you aim specifically, and we've talked about that over a 4-episodic period. But at the same time, I think that he is correct in that we are aiming our nation of young people towards certain fields that cannot sustain the infrastructure of this country.
The center of our economy is competition. Yes, it's not easy. If you want to be a director and you think it's going to be handed to you the way your high school diploma was, you're going to be sorely mistaken. If you are good at what you do, if you are the best at what you do, people will recognize that. You will make sure that people recognize that, and you will do very well. And that's not just true for film, that's true in engineering, that's true in nursing, that's true in any field. If you're good at what you do, you can get there. What's great about us is our education system, that anybody can get educated to the point that they can be great at what they do. There isn't, everybody from the poorest to the richest in our country has access to this education.
I'm just curious, Shawn, what do you think? Let's go back to the 17 trillion. I know I'm harping on it, but let's go back to it. Where do you see that ending? I mean, where do you see that going?
I don't think it matters to us.
We're about to a tipping point on the interest rate. We're about to a point where the interest rate itself, we will not be able to pay back.
I remember when I was a kid in the 80s, they were saying the same thing, that we're going to have war, it's going to end, the end times are here, the zombies are going to come kill us all.
Okay, and
it's always been at the edge. There's always been, if this vote doesn't go through, the world's going to end,
okay,
and
it almost
hasn't.
happened in the Cuban Missile Crisis, by the way.
But it didn't.
It is a real danger. But it's a real danger.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Again, it's numbers on paper. What does it mean? How many dollars a day does it cost to do this? How many dollars a day does it cost to do this? None of those numbers equate to any reality.
You might not like this analogy, but it's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. By the way, Jack and the Beanstalk is one of the stories in American lore that is debated a lot, based on if Jack should have gone up there and actually stole something, if by stealing something from the giant, if in helping his family, was he doing something bad to the giant? I mean, so they argue this, but I think a bigger point of Jack and the Beanstalk is Jack was convinced by somebody that these beans were magic. When his mother wanted him to go out and actually spend money on something that they needed to survive. Jack came back, his mom found the beans, she threw them down. By a huge stroke of luck, the beans took root. The beans were magic. They grew up into the sky. He climbed up, was able to get what he needed, and he came back down and they became rich. I don't want our students believing magic.
So you are sharing a story that is hundreds of years old, telling us how important and valuable stories are. What are our students creating? Stories. That is so valuable, that you're using stories to argue against the power of stories. We've already talked about Chicken Little. Let's talk about The Boy Who Cried Wolf. The world's ending, we have so much debt. 10 years later, the world's ending, we have so much debt. At this point, I don't have a reason to believe this. I have been hearing it my entire life, and I don't see it happening. And I don't believe you can live your life as if the world's going to end tomorrow. If you genuinely believe the world's going to end tomorrow, why are you even getting an education?
But preparation is important. If the government continues to do what they're doing, and I see no change in their policies, I think what our students need to do is do what you're saying. They still need to go into the industry that is their passion. But do like I do. Start to invest in different areas, invest in metals such as silver. Go and buy a little farmland or create a garden in your backyard. You don't need to stock up for a year, but do some preparation. Be prepared for maybe a future that's a little uncertain.
I would urge our students to be aware of the world, be aware of current events, find good news sources that they trust, be able to follow them, and get a sense of what's going on. That way they can make these decisions. That way they know what's going on. And again, I think it's ridiculously difficult to find good, reliable news sources. The fact is, local news international news is all more about scaring you to sell newspapers than it is to give you real info.
Well, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist because I can't sift through all that. I have my belief system. I don't share it all the time because it's my belief system. I find conspiracy theorists are doing what you're saying. All they're really doing is trying to make some extra money for themselves. They're trying to sell newspapers. They're trying to sell stories. They're trying to just see how many people they can get to follow them on Twitter. So I agree with you there. Don't buy into conspiracy theorists. Rather, when you hear something that is a conspiracy, check with Snopes to find out if that's all it is, because Snopes will examine it.
So what you're saying is, don't listen to other people when they say the world is going to end, but listen to you when they say the world is going to end.
I'm saying the world. You gotta realize too that when I say that things are not progressing the right way, I'm not saying this happening tomorrow. When you hear me in front of the students, I never say that. I will say we're heading towards a recession. And I'll give them even a timeline, maybe 5 years. We cannot sustain. We will be trying to deal with the fact that we have, at that point, maybe $20 trillion of debt, and we cannot even pay the interest rate. So there will be a day of reckoning. And I say, be aware that what you need to do is get established in the industry. Don't spend wildly, but spend conservatively to protect yourself, your family, your future career.
I think an area that we probably can come to some agreement is the media and what our students are doing. They're creating powerful stories. And part of what I think we'll agree on is they should be using these skills, these stories, their ability to, as journalists, their ability to report, to help stop these things, to help make a better world. That if they are informed of this and if they do believe these things are happening, what we're teaching them are the skills to help change this world and make it better. I think that might be an area we can come to some agreement on.
I think so.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. That was good.
That was good. You were ready for that Jack and the Beanstalk story. I should never have told